QD OLED versus Mini LED. In today's versus video, we have the Alienware AW3225QF 4K 240Hz 1700R QD OLED versus the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8 4K 240Hz VA 1196 local dimming zone gaming monitor at 1000R. Now this video has 3 intermission parts, and in each part, I'll pull out some scenes so I can give you a better analysis of what I'm seeing. Some things I will point out, and others you'll obviously be able to see it. From that brightness difference, to that OLED pixel perfect dimming, to that glossy screen clarity, and to the not so good warping of an image the more curvy it gets. And of course, the glossy versus matte debate that we're going to have here today. The differences can start to be seen now, so let's watch the video. And as the video plays, have a keen eye, as I'm sure you'll be able to see the differences between QD OLED and Mini LED.
From what I've gathered, you grew up nice and sheltered with mama's pretty stories and your own made-up fury. And mama gave me a magic clicker. Well, yes, I think it's true and fair to say. Come on in and listen, lost words you've been missing. Now the fire you're bearing, the eye of the darkness, your light. So you were drawn to stories early on. My dreams would light up my imagination, and you had nightmares night and day. Yeah, but with the clicker, I chased those frights away. Ooh, you! So true. So here is a clue of hope to remember. Visions, they come true. Bend the light switch to. I'll show you the Herald of darkness, lost in the never-ending night, diving deep to the surface.
You can obviously see here, even with local dimming low, on the Neo G8, it is really impactful. It looks 3D-ish. It looks overblown here on the camera, but that's the power of the Neo G7 and Neo G8. And for that impact, that 3D effect, in this scene, the Neo wins. Here with the clicker, you can see it looks clearer on the OLED, and that's probably because of the glossy screen. And if you look at the actual clicker, on the QD OLED, it's closer to being black versus the Neo G8. But because the hand is a bit higher in brightness, it does illuminate the image overall more. So not to cause blooming, it's going to be a tad brighter, a shade grayer. In scenes like this, I think QD OLED or OLED really shines through, and it shows its power of that pixel perfect dimming. Now just because this is a matte screen on the right with the Neo G8 doesn't make the image look trashy. Sure, glossy looks clearer, but in no ways does any kind of matte screen, unless it's a very cheap monitor, degrade the picture overall or make it worse versus the other technology. Your eyes don't lie, both look crystal clear, but the impact is on the Neo G8. And it's really about preference. What do you want? Do you want that accuracy, that clarity? A glossy image would give you that. But that brightness impact, the funness of a monitor, to me, the Neo G8 wins all day. But here with the band, look at this circular light. On the QD OLED, it's perfect. Again, because of that OLED technology, that pixel perfect dimming, the on and off of a pixel. While on the Neo G8, because it can't get that bright, pixel perfect, remember, there's only 1196 local dimming zones. To prevent major blooming, it gives it a nice highlight. The algorithm works really well here, but it's just not pixel perfect, like OLED. And if you notice, you can start to see the warping of the image because of the strong curvature of 1000R. In this scene, you can see it, and that's the effects you get with any curved screen. The wider the viewing angle, the more the warping is introduced. Now I really think Mr. Door here looks really clear. Clearer versus the Neo G8, but look at the G8's power in brightness. It looks overblown here, but trust me, in reality, it looks 3D-ish. It really looks good. Here with the Neo G8, you can see that impact is there. Everything is brighter. Sure, the QD OLED looks darker, the contrast is more real, but there's many scenes in this video that you're gonna see. It's really about preference. And if you're gaming, to me, I want that impact. I mean, I wish I had this brightness on the Alienware. But we're not there yet. Eventually we'll get there. But look here at Mr. Door. He looks crystal clear. It looks way better on the QD OLED versus the Neo G8. While Alan Wake is really three-dimensional. Again, in person. Because I'm showing you that difference. That local dimming on high or on low really does make an impact.
And all your stories of crime and chilling thrillers of hard-boiled killers became bestsellers. It was all too much, I had to get away. The story's the end, all a piece of true fiction. They mean endless in the face of creation. But there is more to it than meets the eye. I never meant for it to ruin my life that way. Would you say you lived a jaded lie? Dark shades could never save the day. So sad, but true. Fun in the nightmares, torch and a light switch, a gift or a curse, a reality made of dreams. Show me the champion of light. I'll show you the herald of darkness. Lost in the never-ending night. Diving deep to the surface.
Look at Mr. Door's hair. On the QD OLED, it's accurate, it's perfect. While on the Neo G8, it's a little bit blurry. And I mean blurry because the brightness can't get that dim on his hairline. This is really important. This, to me, works with clarity and the technology. The zones are not small enough on the Neo G8 to have that contrast on Mr. Door. This is where I think OLED technology in small highlights, even medium-sized highlights, it really shines through. Now this image really looks 3D-ish on both monitors, at least when I see them side by side. To me, the QD OLED looks more three-dimensional because of that perfect contrast, the infinity contrast. While on the Neo G8, even on low, the overall surrounding image does look a tad grayer. Now again, if I had this on high, maybe things would be different. But I believe that light ray that you're seeing right here, that would even be smaller. It would be darker. Because again, mini LED only has a certain amount of zones. Here with the overall screen brightness, if you're a person that needs that brightness for work and play, the Neo G8 can handle it all day. I mean, I think this looks like an accurate image. They're both so close. But here you can see that glossy coating, the clarity, the no in-between matte film. When you compare it to an ultra matte or a heavy matte, the clarity can be seen, especially when it's panning. I mean, I was able to show that in my last video with Alan Wake, because on the Neo G8, it does exhibit a pearl sheen. Now, I'm sure you know who wins here. QD OLED all day long. Look at Alan's head. It's brighter on the QD OLED versus the Neo G8. And that doesn't make sense, right? Because in this whole video, the Neo G8 is supposed to be brighter. But like I've said before, the algorithm on the Neo G8 is really smart because it's not going to get super bright and cause major blooming. It's one of the best controlled monitors I've seen. So on the QD OLED, Alan's head looks brighter and there's more contrast in the background. While on the Neo G8, his head has less brightness, but it does look grayer in the background. Because it can't shut off completely, there's not enough zones. In scenes like this, QD OLED wins all day long.
He could write a new story like Tom Zane before him, and maybe they'd be happy once again. Just one shot, one more chance for him to say
save their marriage away from the city, a romantic getaway. Still he's a torchbearer, and he couldn't be much clearer. A war needs its warrior, true and right. The darkness within him held her hostage. Had he seen her drowning, would have saved her from the darkness of the lake. Show me the champion of light. Oh, I'll show you the herald of darkness. Lost in the never-ending night. Diving deep to the surface.
Look at that flashlight. It's brighter on a Neo G8. But look at Ellen's head, the mini Ellen's. His head is dimmer versus the QD OLED. And the QD OLED, the background looks blacker. There's more contrast. That's the main difference between QD OLED and Mini LED. Mini LED tries to achieve what OLED is doing, but it can't because it doesn't have or will never have that many zones. OLED has millions of zones, those pixels, while Mini LED has thousands. What do you expect? I mean, it comes very close. But once OLED gets a tad bit brighter in all modes, that's endgame, I think. Or unless another technology overthrows it. But you get what I'm saying. These are real-world usage moments. Movies, games. And these are things I can easily see just by freeze-framing a video. But if you just want a game and have that impact, Mini LED will always have its place. I mean, glossy versus matte screens, it depends on your room. It really depends on your situation, your preference. But I would say in this video, and I'm sure you were able to see today, that infinity contrast is real. The glossy clarity is also real on QD OLED. And let's not forget that pixel-perfect OLED dimming, where a pixel can turn on and turn off at a moment's notice, on the fly, instantaneously. But until OLED can get brighter to match the Mini LED's impact. I mean, look at here at Sam Lake. That impact of the Neo G8 is amazing. It looks 3D-ish. It looks like HDR. And right now, QD OLED can't do that. QD OLED or any OLED cannot look like HDR in SDR mode. While all Mini LEDs from TCL, Samsung, the impact is there with Mini LED. And the brightness will overpower any kind of window situation. So it really depends on where you play. Do you really need that impact in a dark room? I do believe I was able to show you those scenes where it was an obvious difference. QD OLED versus Mini LED. We got a lot more versus videos coming up soon, friends, to help you make that awesome buying decision. Leave a comment down below on which one you like. What's your preference? And it's really good, we have a lot to choose from. We have options, and that's what matters. So friends, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button so more people can see it to help them make that awesome buying decision. Consider subscribing if you want more videos just like this one, from breaking news, reviews, and showcases. Only here on Victor's Reality. Thanks for watching, friends. Stay safe out there. I'll see you guys next time.